In this video, we're going to see how each state trended for president between 1948 and 2024. We're going to go from Truman to Trump. Last week, we just took a look at the swings or the shifts in each state. This time, we're going to compare those shifts to the national popular vote shift, and that'll get us the trends. So a lot of decades here, a lot of data to get through. There's going to be a map at the end with a chapter down below in the description. But first, let's real quick zip through the background information. 1948 had Harry Truman winning his first and only term. He finished with 303 electoral votes. He got 28 states, and that was worth 49.6% of the popular vote. And Dewey did not defeat Truman, but he did get 189 electoral votes out of 16 states, and it was worth 45.1%. And they also have Strom Thurmond on here, third-party challenger, whose alliance was States' Rights Democratic. He did carry 4 states in the South, and he got 2.4% of the vote. Then 24 is up there if you want to take a glance at it, but that one you should be pretty familiar with. Now let's fire up the spreadsheet. On the left, we've got the states. Then it's the 48 vote for Truman, then Dewey, then the 24 vote for Harris, then for Trump, then the margin in 48 shaded accordingly, then the same for 24. Then it's the column from last week, the swings or the shifts in each state. That's just the difference between the 2 previous columns. Finally, we've got the trends. This will compare the swings in each state to the national popular vote swing, and that'll show us if it voted to the left or the right of the country. So let's dive in. First, we've got to get our national baseline. Again, in 48, we've got Truman at 49.6, Dewey 45.1, Harris at 48.3, and then Trump at 49.8. The margin for Truman at 48 was 4.5. The margin for Trump in 24 was 1.5. So that's easy math. 4.5 away from the Dems, another 1.5 toward the Republicans. That comes out to a total national swing of 6%. So anything more than that is going to be a red trend. Anything less than that, or in the other direction, is going to be a blue trend. Now, the 4 states that Strom Thurmond won in the South make it a little bit tricky. I'm not going to use Thurmond's data because he was not the national Democrat. So, for example, the first state of Alabama, Truman is going to have to get a 0. I did the same thing last week. It's not satisfying. There's no great way to do it. But then we've got Dewey at 19%. In 24, Harris got 34.1. Trump won the state with 64.6. The margin for Dewey in 48 was 19%. The margin for Trump in 24 was 30.5. That's an 11.5% swing toward the Republicans, and that's higher than the 6% swing nationally. So that means Alabama trended another 5.5% redder on top of the national popular vote. So now let's rapid fire through the rest of these states. Arizona also trended redder by 9.6. Arkansas had the biggest trend out of all the states and moved a massive 65.3. Now we've got blue trends in California at 25.7, Colorado 11.6, Connecticut 22.2, and Delaware 21.9. Then it was redder in Florida at 22.3, Georgia 38.7, and Idaho 33.1. Illinois was double digits bluer at 16. Then back toward the right, we've got Indiana at 12.1, Iowa 9.9, Kansas 1.2, Kentucky a big 39.7, and Louisiana 31.3. Then to the left of the country, we've got Maine at 27.3, Maryland 35.9, Massachusetts 19.7, and Michigan 6.2. Then again toward the right, we've got Minnesota at 7.1, Mississippi 24.4, Missouri 29, Montana 23.8, Nebraska 6.3, and Nevada, they had the smallest trend out of all the states. They moved almost perfectly in line with the country, coming in at just 0.2% redder. But in New Hampshire, they were bluer by 14.6, New Jersey similar at 16.3, New Mexico very mildly redder at 1.5, New York back up there toward the Dems at 19.5, North Carolina even more toward the Republicans at 22.5, North Dakota 21.7, Ohio 5.3, and Oklahoma about 10 times that at 53.8. Oregon is bluer at 23.7, Pennsylvania 8.3, and Rhode Island 3.5. Then toward the GOP, we've got South Carolina 32.1, South Dakota 18.4, Tennessee 35.9, Texas a big 49.4, and Utah 24.2. Vermont had the biggest blue trend out of all the states, coming in at a significant 62.1. Virginia way less at 4.8. Washington is at 14.3. West Virginia is a gigantic red trend at 51. Wisconsin a tiny blue trend of 0.7, and Wyoming is back up there toward the right at 44.1. So those are all the states and all the trends. Now let's take all this data, let's put it on a map. Here it is. We've got similar shading. There's 4 levels of it. The darkest colors are 10 or more points. The lightest colors are under 1%. Those are the tilt margins. And are there any takeaways here? Well, this is the current electoral vote map. And at the top, we can see states that move toward the Dems, total 248. The Republicans are at 280, so they have the edge. And a lot of this does look similar to the map we're used to today. We've got the blue West Coast, the blue East Coast, plus Colorado and Illinois. This time, the Rust Belt states all do move toward the Dems, but not by double digits, especially Wisconsin. That's very slight. The Republicans do a ton of damage in the South, plus the upper Great Plains and much of the Midwest. In this, New Mexico is also redder. Then you've got Rhode Island. That's just a little bit blue, surrounded by a sea of dark blue. So even though there was dark double-digit movement across most of these states, some states didn't move that much at all. A special shout-out goes to Wisconsin. That state moved less than 1% across all these decades. So plenty of good stuff on here to take a look at. The reasons why these states trended the way that they did is an entirely different video. But for now, these are the presidential trends between 1948 and 2024. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about any of the trends in any of these states? Which 3 or 4 jump out to you the most? Let me know what you think down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.